Guys, what is up and welcome back to Terrier Owner. Happy Thursday to everybody. Today, we are going to dive in specifically on why you should be adopting a Jack Russell Terrier. In fact, I'm going to give you 7 reasons that you should adopt a Jack Russell Terrier. So stick around and we will be right back. Okay guys, as promised, we have 7 reasons to uncover here about why you should adopt a Jack Russell Terrier. I know that it's kind of one of those dog breeds that people can sometimes be on the fence about because they've either read that they're too hyper to handle, that they have some behaviors that aren't always desirable, but we are going to put that talk to rest today and go through each of those 7 reasons in depth and give you a few examples showing Luna in action so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. But real quickly, before we do that, if you guys have been enjoying this content, you like these videos, be sure to leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified on Tuesdays and Thursdays when new videos come out. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started with these 7 reasons that you should be adopting a Jack Russell Terrier. Okay guys, so reason number 1 that you should be adopting a Jack Russell Terrier, or something that you should be excited about if you plan on adopting one soon, is these dogs are crazy loyal. One of the most loyal dogs I think you could choose to adopt. These dogs are connected at your hip. They will follow you everywhere. Some of you are probably thinking that that may or may not be annoying, but it's really not. With these guys, they don't necessarily make it a nuisance. They just want to be at that center of attention, but that doesn't necessarily mean you always have to be playing with them, petting them, interacting with them. They just need to be around. Once they recognize that this is your house, you're the owner, you take care of them, these dogs are about as loyal as it gets, and they are going to be sticking to your side, protecting after you. Just an overall awesome dog to have when it comes to loyalty. All right guys, reason number 2 that you should be adopting a Jack Russell Terrier, or something that I love about owning Luna here, is these dogs are small. So I know there's a ton of people who only prefer big dogs, whatever the case may be, but I've owned a big dog for almost 7 years. I know the pros and cons of that. I had never owned a small dog like Luna here before her, and now I'm realizing all of the benefits that come with that. First of all, makes dog food a lot cheaper, which is nice. Still stick with the name brand food, a good food for their overall nutrition, but feeding her is a lot different than feeding a 100-pound lab. Number 2 with being small is you get the benefit of they just don't take up all of the room on the couch or a bed if they're allowed on furniture. I mean, as you can see, she's slid right under my arm here for this video, but it's a nice benefit to have whenever they don't take up all of the space and they're just easier to kind of have running around the house without it being an issue. And then another thing that people probably don't take into consideration is just how much easier it is to travel with her, whether you're using a crate or just crate chaining a small dog in general. It's pretty nice because you don't need that giant size crate and you don't need a full-size SUV or truck. So whether that's with a crate inside of the vehicle or you let them sit freely in the vehicle, whatever the case may be, it's just nice owning a smaller dog. All right guys, reason number 3 that I love these Jack Russell Terriers and why you should adopt one is they are cheap to own. And when I say cheap, I'm talking about all the way around. Dog food doesn't cost you a ton if you're using like an auto subscription to Amazon, Chewy, whatever the case may be. I think she runs us about 20 bucks a month. She gets 2 smaller size measured out cups of Blue Buffalo a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. So that is much cheaper than owning a big dog, clearly. And then you have the other expenses, you know, like all of the dog toys, all of her collars, leashes, any kind of shock collar training you have for them. So there are some expenses, but overall when you get a smaller dog, unless they run into like these major health issues, I mean, you're looking at a much cheaper dog to own in general. She's about 10 pounds, maybe not quite yet on 2 years old, but overall much cheaper than my yellow lab to have on a monthly kind of recurring budget and just the one-time fees that you have with them in the beginning. All right, guys, reason number 4, and I really like this one. This is huge strong points, is these guys are the king of being exercise partners. They can do just about anything you'd want them to do on an exercise standpoint. If you're talking about going for a run, they are excellent at it. Might not be showing off their running skills now because we're just playing in the living room, but these dogs can run. They are great with cadence. They are great with the lead once you teach them how to use it, and then they can do other exercises too. So you have other things like if you just want to go for a walk. They're good swimmers. They could do rollerblading. You could probably even do some kind, you might be able to figure out how to take them with a bike. So if you like to go cycling or ride a bicycle, I'm sure you can make it work, but that one might take a little more practice for them to figure out. But overall, when it comes to being good at exercising and a dog that's going to keep you young, active, and healthy, this is the dog to get. And what's even better about it is you don't really have a choice. You don't necessarily need to go running 3 miles a day with them, but with no exercise for these dogs, they are absolutely crazy dogs if they don't get any exercise. So you have to make sure that you're doing something with them, which can be a con, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. But in my opinion, I kind of wanted a dog that forced me to interact with them in that fashion because it keeps me healthier, active, and moving around. So a dog that can keep up and is not a pain to do exercises with, that's awesome to me. Huge benefit for those of you who like to do the same. So for those of you that enjoy that kind of interaction and the exercise, you should really look forward to that characteristic of the Jack Russell Terrier. It's pretty awesome. All right, guys, it may not look like it right now with the way she's behaving, but my next reason number 5 on this list, is these dogs are fantastic guard dogs. I have a blog post that discusses this that I will link in the description below. But she is alert and she is protective of her owners and her family. More so my crazy son over here that's jumping around like a madman. When it comes to sticking by our side if there's other people around, or alerting us that somebody is coming up the driveway, whatever the case may be, when it comes to the traits of a good guard dog, she has it. Wow, I'm making a real bad example of her eating my kids' toys right now, but she's being pretty crazy. We'll let her get away with it until I think she might actually swallow it, then we'll take it from her. But yeah, guys, awesome guard dogs. That is reason number 5. All right, guys, here's the proof in the pudding for reason number 6, is these guys, whether you've read differently or not online, I don't know what you've read, what you believe right now about Jack Russell Terriers, but these dogs are fantastic with kids. Whether you have heard differently, I want to argue that that is not true, or that there was something maybe with the owners not training them to act accordingly around kids, but she has been zero, I mean literally zero issue for interacting with my son. The worst case I have ever seen with her, if we're being fully transparent, is when they are young, they are nippy, not in an aggressive biting manner, nothing like that, but they do take a while to understand that instead of going up to give a quick kiss on the face, she used to almost kind of nip at his lip a little bit. It never bled, nothing crazy, but when he was 2 and she was a puppy, he would still freak out like most 2-year-olds do and act like it was the worst pain on the planet, even though he was fine 30 seconds later. So awesome with kids. They play, this is normal for them. This isn't scripted what you're seeing right now. I didn't say, hey, can you go be crazy with the dog for this video? This is just kind of what they do, and I try and get this kind of stuff on footage for you guys to see, but these dogs are good with kids if you take the time to give them some discipline and training. It's not going to be something you need to worry about. Right, Rowan?
Yes.
Is Luna good?
Yes.
All right, guys, last reason number 7 that you should be adopting a Jack Russell Terrier is it's always entertaining. They find a way to do something that's going to make you laugh. Sometimes they'll annoy you. Sometimes you've got something to fix or clean up, especially when they're young. That's going to happen with any dog, so all the bashing of Jack Russells just being these chew monsters and destroying everything. Maybe that's true when they're young. I mean, she did chew her fair share of things, But guess what? All dogs do that, so there's no reason not to adopt a Jack Russell. If you don't want a dog that's going to chew something up that you don't want chewed when they're young, don't adopt a dog. It's not a Jack Russell's fault that dogs like to chew, that they go through teething, and that they need proper training to learn to do what you just saw right there on camera, is a gentle kiss. If you don't correct the behaviors, they don't just figure it out. They're extremely smart, but they can't read your mind, so you need to relay messages to them. But overall, they are just awesome in that respect. Do it again. Rowan says, give me some kisses. Give me some kisses. All right, as you can see that they're pretty good friends by now, but hopefully this video was not just meant to brag about Jack Russells and how awesome they are. In fact, if you guys on Tuesday, on next week's video, is going to be one of the downfalls of Jack Russells. The downfalls do exist, but it's hard to find a downfall unless it's jumping. These dogs do jump like crazy, but there is downfalls, but those same downfalls come with all dogs. So again, if you can't handle some of those things that come with owning a dog like her, then you probably just shouldn't get a dog unless it's the most mellow animal on the planet that you're adopting. Those things happen. So I hope that this video demonstrated and took away some of those myths about Jack Russells and kind of showed that it's not always true and that a lot of the power falls in the owner's hands. So if you adopt them, work with them, it doesn't matter. A ton of my videos say this. If it's 5 minutes a day or a half hour, whatever you have time for, work with them a little bit. I mean, they're a loving dog. Yes, sometimes they go a little bit overboard, but they don't know any better until you teach them. And I hope that anybody that's on the fence right now watching this decides to adopt, and it was enough to convince you that it's a good dog to own. We have certainly enjoyed her in our 2 years that we've had her. There has been some downtimes, but overall this is an awesome dog, guys. Cheap to own, all the other 6 reasons that I mentioned. If you're thinking about it, go adopt one right now. All right, guys, like we said at the beginning of the video, me, Luna, and Rowan do appreciate you guys greatly for stopping by. And we would also greatly appreciate if you would take the time just to hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you are notified when new videos come out. We will see you all next time.